Good afternoon, good day, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing, and you are tuning into HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. We are in week number 7. It's day number 2. It's the final play day. It is the final day of HeroesCCL group stage. We'll get into some gauntlet play in a couple weeks, but we still have a lot of amazing matches here on HeroesCCL. And before we get into all that great stuff, talking about prizing and rosters and all that stuff, got to check in with my amazing co-host, casters, analyst, Grubby. How are you doing, my friend? Are you ready for another day of HeroesCCL action? I guess the last day of 2021 of HeroesCCL action.
Yes, I am ready for it, and I must say I'm in such a good state of mind because it feels like I'm in outer space just floating around. We got the universe right here. I'm at the center of the universe.
I have to go find my own cosmic sweater at some point during a break, and then maybe we can definitely have like the Grubby galaxy, if you will. That'd be a perfect way to do that. But Justin,
I like that too.
How are you doing, my friend?
Yep.
Are you ready for another great day of HeroesCCL action?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. It almost felt like I was playing last night with how much I felt like I was struggling to sleep thinking about Simplicity versus 30K today. It's really hyped that that's how we get to close out the regular season, so I'm excited for it.
Some great matches today that we can dive into in a little bit, but the first thing that we always want to dive into is that prize pool. We are pushing towards $10,000 for the HeroesCCL prize pool, but to break it all down for you, as always, 60% of the donations will be going towards said prize pool for the players. First place taking 35%, second place taking 20%, so on and so forth on the bottom left of your screen. On the top right, you'll see that there is that 40% that does come back to Wisdom to be able to cover the production expenses, the league expenses, and to be able to create amazing graphics from season to season for you all at home. Because of your support, we've hit $10,000! That was the most perfectly timed rollover. Thank you to whoever pushed that last little bit of money to $10,000. Thank you so much to the HeroesCCL community for your support. Thank you. If you'd like to push that prize pool even further today on our last group stage day, you can use ! prize pool in chat to get you over to the match arena. Holy crap, that is really awesome. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get Springy on stream maybe after our halftime show or something like that, because we definitely need to be able to give some praise to the Twitch chat that has been pushing this prize pool. That's really awesome. That's super exciting, and it's great to have. So now that we've hit that milestone, oh my god, that's so cool on the final play day. I believe we can also look at some league standings. We can take a look at kind of how everything is looking on the league standing side of HeroesCCL, Grubby. And you, as always, you break this down so well. Can you break down what could potentially happen to this standing at the end of our 2 best-of-5s today?
Yeah, this is pretty sick. So it's quite clear and cut at the top. And for our inaugural match tonight, 30K against Simplicity, the winner is first place and will meet the champion of the Gauntlet, the large knockout phase that will involve the league standing teams of rank 4 to rank 8. So 5 teams will fight for the Gauntlet. The winner of that faces the number 1. It could be 30K or Simplicity. The other part is a little bit more interesting. We've got Wildheart and Oxygen and Diamond Hands all vying for that top 3 position. And it's all down to Diamond Hands' hands here and their fate. Diamond Hands, if they 3-0 Chili Mountain, they shall overtake. But if they do anything except that, all of the other potential scores, Diamond Hands does not get top 3. So that's going to be a super interesting match. And while Chili Mountain has nothing to look forward to except an 8th place, they still have honor to fight for, and for the sake of fairness, should do their best. If they even win a single map, they shall affect standings.
It's exciting stuff today on HeroesCCL. I'm really excited about this, and Grubby, thank you as always for the breakdown analysis for the standings, because there's still a lot of moving parts. I know it's only 2 best-of-5s today, but there are still a lot of intricacies that we could see happen, or even just small changes into those standings. And I believe we can actually look at exactly what the matchups will look like today, and we can start getting those rosters as well. I'm super excited about this, Justin. Like, as you said, you couldn't sleep getting ready for these matches, and please, can you break down what we will see here today on HeroesCCL?
Yeah, so our first match, it's pretty straightforward. This is the one that I'm super excited about. We've got 30K versus Simplicity. perfectly in the last day of the normal season. We get to see both the teams tied with their 5-1 records here at the top. 30K and Simplicity duking it out to see who's going to actually get that first place position. And in our second match of the day, as Grubby has pointed out, if you're a Wildheart fan, I believe, you really want Chili Mountain to take at least one game here, because that's going to be what makes the difference in the standings. And if you're a Diamond Hands fan, you're shooting for that 3-0. So there's a cool dynamic here going on between Chili Mountain and Diamond Hands. Whoever can win is going to just completely change the third place position.
And I believe it was Mason Blaze in the interview yesterday was saying that the Wildheart crew is probably going to be having a little watch party to get, during that second best of 5 to really closely watch and maybe even cheer on Chili Mountain. But let's actually start diving into this first best of 5, Grubby, because we've got 30K roster. Oh, man, some strong players here.
Yeah, pretty sick. Bad Benny, Dino, HeroesHearth, who just 2 days ago competed in an Age of Empires 4 tournament. He won his solo match against someone higher ranked than him. It's pretty sick. HeroesHearth is ranked 150 there. His opponent has been ranked 70 on the global leaderboard. So him winning that was pretty cool. Just multi-gaming professional. And then you've got Liam Vespertine, Yasuo OTP, and Nagrom, a very valuable sub. Though I don't suspect he will be playing today. He was very strong. All of these players are absolutely fantastic.
All of them, actually. Even the Simplicity roster, Justin, is a fantastic group of players as well.
Yeah, they're quite strong. It's not quite the same Simplicity that we saw winning seasons 1 and 2, but it doesn't seem to matter for them with their new roster. They're still coming out super strong here in the season. We've got Fancy Pants playing the offlane, Legacy playing support, Masquerade's still around from before, as is Legacy. We've got Mene playing the ranged and Unaverted playing the flex position. And of course, we've got Cure as the coach and potential Superman if things go awry. You never know with Cure. So just a really strong roster overall.
That was actually something I was thinking about as we were getting ready for the show today. I was wondering, let's say it's game 5, backs against the wall. Do you think Cure's been, kind of on the side, warming up, those real sport athletes, how they kind of, they throw a bunch of pitches before they go out on the pitch. I don't know, baseball field. Sure. Anyways,
throw the pitch and then stand on it.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. But
American sports is so complex.
It is, and it makes absolutely no sense. I've been here for 31 years, and I have no idea what's happening 90% of the time when I see it on TV. But either way, we know what's happening here on HeroesCCL because we actually have a wonderful sponsor joining us for HeroesCCL Season 3. We have Next Level Gaming joining the HeroesCCL family for this season. And what is Next Level Gaming? It is a LAN center in Miami where they host watch parties on Saturday and Sunday for HeroesCCL. And I'm assuming they're going to be hosting watch parties during those playoff brackets as well. So make sure you use !NXT in chat to find out more about this LAN center. And the other thing about this wonderful place is you can play Heroes the Storm, and they've just upgraded a bunch of their computers. They have HP Omens with i7s and RTX 3090s, which an RTX 3090 for Heroes the Storm, it's a little overkill, but it definitely makes the game super, super easy to play and see those nice 140-some frames. And speaking of frames, the members at Next Level Gaming have 2 monitor options for you as well if you're going to be playing over there. They have a 24-inch monitor with 240 hertz, or you can get a little bit of a bigger of a monitor, 32 inches at 144 hertz. So, as I said, !NXT in chat to find out all you can about Next Level Gaming. If you'd like to travel down there to watch HeroesCCL, we always very much do appreciate all the support at the LAN center, and we appreciate them for joining us as well. But the thing that we gotta get into here, Justin, is this first map, because we are ready to go into our first game here, into our first draft, and it's going to be the map choice of 30K choosing to take us to Cursed Hollow. But how we got here, Simplicity won the coin flip, opting for first pick priority, banning out Volskaya Foundry, and 30K, they will go ahead and ban out Towers of Doom. Some quick map facts before we get into all this. 30K has never, in Season 3, played on Cursed Hollow a single time, and they first chose this map. The members of Simplicity are 2-3 record on this map, 40% win rate. And as we're about to get into this draft here, Justin, I got to get your thoughts, because I know you've been anticipating this matchup for quite some time, it feels.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And going to Cursed Hollow while never playing it definitely throws a bit of a curveball to Simplicity. They certainly aren't expecting this to be one of the maps that 30K would be picking against them. And it doesn't feel like Cursed Hollow is a map that we see all the time from teams, especially not first in the series. So I'm definitely expecting maybe a little bit of shenanigans coming out from 30K, picking the map, never showing anything on it before. I'm kind of expecting to see some unique strategies. We do have HoSwabs, who is a proficient RTS player, so he also could be a proficient Vikings player here on Cursed Hollow. So we'll see if Simplicity is aware of that, and if that's something that they look to go into, because traditionally, HoSwabs this season has been playing fairly standard picks. I think he did play an Abathur game at the start of the season, but aside from that, it's been just a lot of standard heroes for him. Yeah. This could be where we kind of see that change when it's the most important game of the regular season.
A lot of Tychus. Sorry, I also just realized another little map stat. Both of these teams banned out some of their best maps. 30K banned out Towers of Doom. They're 5-1 on that map. The members of Simplicity ban out Volskaya Foundry. They're 4-1. So it's an interesting tactic, Grubby, to ban out a map that you've had success throughout the entire season on.
And I do think those statistics matter, Baha. But at the end of the day, they are the two best teams so far. They've won almost everything, and now they're facing each other. So, obviously both are going to be sporting amazing records in this season, kind of depending on their map score as well. 30K's got a bit better map differential even. They've only lost 6 maps, so you'll be hard-pressed to find maps where they've actually lost a whole bunch at all.
That is very true. Yeah. Just I prepped so many notes for this one matchup because there's just so much cool stuff to see between these two teams. But Justin, immediately we do have this Johanna first pick from the side of Simplicity.
Yeah, it's I'm calling for a Simplicity win here in the draft. I see Johanna first pick picked up, and it's by Masquerade, who in the first 2 seasons was very good at that hero. That was one of his best tanks. So whether we see that in the off lane or we see that as the main tank, and especially into Greymane, things are looking already pretty good for Simplicity here. And I did think it was a little strange to see Simplicity banning Volskaya, like you mentioned, as they've seemed really strong on Volskaya, so, and 30K good on Towers of Doom. So yeah, really strange dynamic in the map picks coming out here so far in this last game here last match of the season for these teams.
Well, Mene is going to be able to do one of his favorite things, which is just split soak and split push and then fly in at any moment with this Falstead pickup. I'm really liking what the Simplicity crew has put together in the first half of this draft, Grubby.
Yeah, and they still have flexibility to go places, you know. We've seen a lot of early Johanna because, 1, it kicks behinds, and number 2, it can even be an off lane hiding another pick coming out later. There could be a Diablo coming out. There could even be a Stitches coming out. We haven't seen that a whole lot, but Diablo Stitches are the 2 OG chunky chonkers together with Bright Wings, extra percentage healing. So look at the elements here that are in play for a good Stitches draft. Mighty Gust, Polymorph, Ook, Gorge. Fantastic combos that have been meta for years. Johanna is your off lane, and you put Stitches there, then you follow up with Tychus. That's fantastic. But let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Lieutenant Morales, alternating caps.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting choice. I can see a world where the Greymane gets a lot of value from this, but it's still... It's adjusting. She's not the most prioritized hero. Stukov is still up.
Yeah, really weird. Oh, and Probius, everything's just... All right, this is the game, final game of the season draft, and that was sort of what I was anticipating here, actually. I assume with the early medic pickup, they were looking to go either into the Vikings or for some kind of Juice Pirate strategy where they just use the medvac to kind of just backdoor forts and keeps when people aren't already just waiting there. So, just crazy drafts coming out from both teams. We did see Storm Esports use the Probius to great effect on this map, just playing around the objectives really well and being able to just zone off the objectives. We do have the Murden picked up, which should be relatively safe here, but the real question is going to be how they're able to deal with the Vikings. Vikings, if you're not able to control them, just become a huge problem. They do have the Probius on the side of Simplicity that they can kind of de-push that lane if 30K looks to do the traditional Vikings playstyle where you send 4 people into a lane and just push one lane. So the Probius really good at defending against that, so that's good for them, as is the Johanna. They do have the Falstad and Brightwing to try to deal with the Vikings. We'll see if that's enough. I'm expecting 30K to maybe do something a little bit more interesting, though, than just have 4 people bottom. I'm expecting them to stay a little bit split, because Li Ming can get split siege pretty much anywhere just by throwing her long range combos out at the towers. And then Greymane and Nubarak as a 2-man can also just push. So it's going to be a crazy macro game. I'm not expecting this game to be too team fighty until the late game, but yeah, it's hard to call in the draft. Both these drafts are very, very strange, but Simplicity does have the Johanna, which should counter the late game of the Vikings with their, the late game Vikings that are just a terror now. But they are very clumped up typically, so Johanna should get a lot of value there. Slightly leaning towards Simplicity, but this could definitely go both ways.
It's a juicy draft, yeah.
Sorry, a sec, before we lose him, Stimpack or Medivac?
It's probably Medivac, because it's just really good macro. You can push bottom or top, and then as soon as the enemy responds to you, you just immediately medvac to the opposite side of the map, and with the exception of Falstad and Brightwing to some extent, there's really no way to respond to that, at least not quickly. And they do have the noob Greymane, so when they get there, they can immediately start pushing. They don't have to be worried about the forts hitting them back. So that's my expectation, but it could also be the Greymane enabling, but I think they're going to be playing less for team fights and playing more for just getting structures sneakily as a team with the medvac.
I definitely can see some juiciness in this draft as we are about to get into our game right here. And Justin, thank you as always for the breakdown analysis, because we are loaded on into map number 1, Curse Hollow. And on the left-hand side, we have the members of 30K, Bad Benny on the Anubarak, Yasu on the Lieutenant Morales, Liam on the Li Ming. That's an interesting one. Dino to play the Greymane. And then Hazuab's on the Eric, Hazuab's on the Olaf, and Hazuab's on the Baylog. Over on the right-hand side, we're going to be seeing Simplicity. It's Pants on the Johanna, Legacy on the Brightwing, Mene on the Falstad, Masquerade to play the Muradin, and Probius, a little probe that possibly will be played by Unaverted. I'm gonna call for a 30K win. I mean, Hazuabs, he's been playing Age of Empires. He's got the RTS skills practiced. I think this is a perfect setup for him. But that joke aside, I actually do kind of like how quickly 30K can scale here in their pressure around the map, especially at level 10 with the medevac. And I agree with Justin. That's my expectation. But we definitely could see some sort of stim drone Greymane just shredding through the enemy side. But what do you think about all this, Grubby, as we have a little dive onto Unaverted in bottom lane?
Yeah, I just have had this ringing noise in my ear. I couldn't hear anything anyone said. Ever since Vikings, Morales, and Probius were banned, it's just picked. It's just been it's been crazy. But this is cool, though. This is cool. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I have been... I
got worried for a second there, Grubby.
No, I don't know. I'm just memeing. I'm memeing. It's a funny draft. Like, I wonder if this sets the stage for the rest of the draft, Bahamut, where people are trying some really out there strategies, but it's still explainable. There's a lot of strong elements for both teams here. Probius is a great pusher, camp taker, deep pusher. Anubarak Greymane, always been good on Cursed Hollow. We've got loads of globals. We have that Johanna offlane and Hazuops as Vikings. I love it. I love to see it. So let's just cast the thing and take everything in stride and see how it goes.
Really, really excited just to see how this shapes up, because we've talked about just the prowess of both these teams. There's a lot of really big names, a lot of really good growth from 30K, I think, this season as well. They started okay, and I think in the latter half of the season they've just been a very dominant force. But we're not seeing what is traditional with a Viking play, where it's, you have a Viking kind of 2-1 sort of set up in the lanes, and then you have core 4 of your roster on the side of 30K pushing bottom. The bottom lane reasoning being because that's your boss lane, so it's also easier on your side of the map to grab. You're not advancing towards the top right of the map to steal away Simplicities, but we will see Eric go down, technically first blood to the side of Simplicity.
Yeah, Vikings do bleed. They offer, if you kill all 3, it's 3/4 of a hero XP, which is kind of funky that each one is worth a quarter, so you can't even really get satisfying XP off of them, but still good to take some down whenever you can. Falstad, Valera, Zeratul are some of the top heroes against Vikings. Lunara as well, as all of them have superior mobility and good sticking damage. They can easily kill Vikings if they're just 1 slot too far away from their gate. Now let's see what's gonna happen to Mene. There's a bit of a trap for Mene there, but it's just a Viking and a Li Ming. More than that, 30K has a plan to entirely ignore this objective and keep pushing in with Greymane, Morales, and Anubarak. who have infinite push power. And actually, Probius doesn't do too badly against this. Usually you want a splash damage mage like Gul'dan or Probius to defend this, or something like Junkrat. And it clears the wave well. With Brightwing, there's infinite healing sustain as well.
You know what I love about this objective phase that hasn't gone over to any side yet? Is that it's the Eric build. It's Eric. Look at Eric on your minimap. He's just running around harassing the objective. He's got the spy games. He's got the Eric the Swift. And Hazuavs is going to be able to just delay out Simplicity with the help of Liam, of course. Baylog may fall, but I think that was actually still a lot of really good value to the side of 30k. They were able to open up bottom lane a little bit. Probius is starting to get shoved in. And as this map opens up for 30k, they can run around and start ganking the Probius since there won't be any forts. But that is the expectation in the future. We have to see what happens here because Dino is looking for a Dark Flood into Masquerade. Masquerade did go into the Dwarf block at level 1. He does have that 75 physical armor and 4 stacks that do not go away until you get hit. So you have 4 stacks, and you can kind of mid-max the amount of block value you have with your own cooldown of your Dwarf Toss. So just a lot of really cool tech we'll see from Masquerade with that one. But here comes another objective on the Simplicity side of the map.
Yeah, and 30k already has 1 tribute while also taking down the entire bottom wall. Now they're doing the exact same thing in mirror image. Morales is very strong early game, and one of the best way to counter any global heroes or even teams with multiple globals is to have a push going anywhere that is too strong for those type of heroes to stop, to entirely dissuade. Another wall has been taken down. By forcing global heroes to continually be in a lane to defend against something like Sergeant Hammer, or indeed a Nubrak Greymane, or like a Sylvanas together with a white, with like an Ariel, anything that can keep going, cranking out damage, you're basically deleting the option for them to use their global. There will be no quick shove leaving the lane and then collapsing on someone else. So essentially, until now, there's practically not been a global hero for Simplicity because of that strong pressure. And that's what I love to see. Late game, it's going to matter more and more though.
Will Bad Benny and the rest be able to dissuade this boss? It does seem like they have achieved a leash onto the boss. Really, really good play from Bad Benny as he burrows in, is not able to connect onto Mene, and that is a gust forced away. 60-second cooldown on that as 10 Talontier just now arrives to the side of 30k. Cocoon, Wave of Force, there's the Medevac, and Curse Bullet for the Greymane, as you just heard that being utilized on a 30-second cooldown.
I think they're gonna dive. Yep, there's the Cocoon on top of Johanna and the Burrow Charge on Mene, but no Impale follow-up. They're gonna do a bit of damage into Pans. Nothing too lethal whatsoever. Bad Benny trying to flip the switch, but team wasn't able to follow up on Falstad. However, space has been created. Second tribute is being taken by Baylog, whereas Probius is setting up a flank. There shall be no heavy chase. That's the one thing Probius does not do well, chasing far.
No, and the other thing too is Probius can't also, continue to use his Worker Rush if he takes a singular auto attack or any sort of damage, whether it even be from maybe an auto attack from a boss. So it is one of those things that, Probius kind of needs to play, I wouldn't say turtled, but he definitely needs to play around structures. And as the map gets pushed in, I feel like that is going to be the thing that that'll be the struggle for Probius. That's at least what I expect. Oh no, that was a little blink into the route. Wait, was it on purpose? Wait, was it on purpose?
Would he?
Because you can use Vidanium Plating when an ally affected by Safeguard is stunned or rooted. Safeguard grants an additional 20 armor. I don't know.
You can't move, but you do have 20 armors. The world's best, tankiest scarecrow that can't move. Actually, what you're saying, it does get done. It gets done. Like when Uther is giving like 50 armor to people when they're stunned. That absolutely was a thing that you could do. I've played with that. I've done Uther with that level 7 talent where I recommended people to go get stunned, walk into Mosh Pit, and it makes them damage sponges. Brightwing here gets cocooned. What's the follow-up? It doesn't feel super, decisive, the follow-up. Cocoon Brightwing, and everyone was just looking. Not 100% sure what's going on here. Masquerade gets a Burrow Charge, but again, no massive follow-up. Just kind of creating space. Feels like they're kind of winging the fights, knowing that their win condition is macro 30k and not really relying on like the big one shots. Strategy play is the thing here.
It is a very, very macro-based strategy, and it's working out right now as Falstad is going to hearth back to be able to help defend, but here comes exactly what Justin was talking about. You push in one lane a bunch, once that push is done, medevac, and now, well, what's Falstad going to do? Is he going to fly into top to defend on his own with a Brightwing phase shift? Because both of those are available. No, they're going to try and mitigate the mid lane, but that doesn't matter because Olaf was pushing with the camp that was grabbed earlier. You had said the word, this is a macro play from the side of 30K, and I think you perfectly describe what we're seeing here, because the team fight isn't the priority. It's 0-0 in kills. The priority is just pushing in the map and creating a lot of space for these Vikings, and 30K, 8 minutes and 45 seconds, have done 3 forts, and I think they're doing a fairly good job if that is their intended playstyle for this entire Curse Hollow map.
Minion XP, surprisingly, is pretty much dead even. 25.6 against 25.4, so simplicity. No slouch when it comes to the collection of the minions. A few more mercs for 30k, and of course, passive experience will start to drift apart a little bit. Every fort that you take down gives a little bit of passive experience. Does it give you a full level lead? Usually not, but in a super long game, eventually that can happen. It just gets you to your breaking points of new talents a little bit quicker. A little bit of appreciation as well for the medevac's cooldown. 45 seconds. She also has that new ability, call down a medevac dropship at your Hall of Storms, even if she's not there, and she can port in people as well. It's something Morales can use, but usually it will be that big team transportation that they just use post-curse.
I believe that was a talent that was moved from 20 baked into the 10 talent tier, right? There was like a rework of Morales it was a few months ago. Not a rework, but it was a few changes. And I think that they baked that into the level 10, which that really actually makes it a lot better. Balog will fall. Eric, he's going to try and be swift and brave, and I think he's actually fine with that level 4, Eric the Swift. Permanently increase Eric's base movement speed by 10%, and as long as Eric is moving, he heals for 61 HP per second.
It's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's actually a lot for a little Viking, because his HP is 1,449 as he tries to play it again.
It's 0, actually.
It's definitely 0 now, but the fight breaks out. Lieutenant Morales, she's a squishy little medic.
Okay.
Couldn't think of the unit from StarCraft.
So, Liam and Yazoo go down here. It starts with this weird Eric one-on-one with Muradin. That didn't work out, so Masquerade wins that one. And you have, of course, Legacy being jumped there by kind of a lackluster all-in, like an Uberak Li Ming can't kill Brightwing too easily. She's got that spell armor. Simplicity, good job to come in there and get their extra set of kills that aren't on a Viking. Now, where does that leave them? They're going to be able to get to the second tribute. They're 32 seconds behind on being able to capture the boss. Boss comes up in just under 30 seconds now for simplicity. So Vikings tends to do cute things all game long. We've seen some cool strats by 30k as well, but they've just lost the level lead. So will their Viking teamfight be strong enough to contend in the late game? Falling Sword is going to wreak havoc on multiple Vikings. It's going to pretty much have like full CDR. If he Falling Swords on an ally with Heaven's Fury that is being all-in by 3 Vikings with spin to win, the way that Vikings tries to blow someone up, the prime target of course being Probius Falstad, he's going to have full CDR and be able to cast it again and again. And I think late game, level 20, this is fully in Simplicity's favor. Vikings team 30k don't even have a keep down yet, so whatever advantage they build up is extremely ephemeral.
This is an important curse for the side of Simplicity, and as we've been watching these teams for a little bit here, Grubby, do you want to get into the comms for 30k or Simplicity?
Let's go with 30k. They're playing the big strategy plays, attempting at least, the more out there thing.
Into 30k we go.
Okay. I don't think they will get too much from the curse. And our boss actually might get keep. Yeah, it gets keep for sure.
Could be.
Did he fly now to the keep, yeah, so?
Also,
Wait.
ready? We can fight, maybe.
Just,
I'm coming.
just diff for now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Might look for a fly on us though, if you show
He
him.
could, yeah. We see him mid.
I'm going in mid. to be honest.
I'm
One
saving
range
both.
should be bot. Please kill the probe.
Ning.
Stunning.
Murden's just right-clicking our cube.
Yeah.
Hitting him. Trying to.
Trying to probe this guy.
Might be looking for fly now.
We got their keep, we got their keep. It's fine if we lose
Eric.
this, honestly.
Can we cocoon
Going
him?
for
Or...
stone? Question mark? Oh, he
They're not 20 yet, but... guess it's hard.
I mean, still fine. We have backdoor pressure.
Yeah, we definitely can backdoor, by the way, for sure. Like Vikings stall the back, so then we just score.
If we... Wind Tunnel is gonna buy 200, yes.
Yeah, but
I
if,
actually don't buy it.
if Olaf stalls it, then... I mean, it could definitely work, but yeah.
Right. For now, just soak and chill.
You.
The bosses are up about the same time. I mean,
I'm running. They're
Our
almost
boss
20.
ends though, that
Not as much energy as I was expecting for a Vikings composition with a Morales. A little planning here and there, but it's pretty calm, collective comms.
Yeah, someone get them some coffee.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
for the most part, probably they were hoping, I think, by this time to be ahead at least one keep. Usually,
Makes sense.
They've got the tools to do it, but Simplicity has defended well enough where they weren't able to get any keep advantage. They've also lost their fort advantage, and I think they know that Vikings, while they can blow someone up, that it's not going to be easy into Heaven's Fury, Wind Tunnel, and they're kind of waiting for a mistake. And also knowing that they cannot necessarily super create an opportunity. So it is the moment, I guess, to be quiet. It's not the moment to do the Lord of the Rings speech where you promise all of your teammates death as we ride into your fate. They just gotta wait for an opportunity. And I'm not sure if they are really the comp that can go create it. Like, who do they see on the minimap right now? They see Falstad, but they know Murden is gonna be in between. Brightwing is hidden, Johanna hidden, Proby is hidden. So do you bravely go somewhere? When do you bring your Vikings? When do you stop soaking? It's interesting. But yeah, definitely a little lackluster on the comms, seems like.
Looking just at the level 20 for the Morales, we have the safe zone. After exiting medevac, allies are protected from all damage for 3 seconds. They had talked about backdoor. That is the tool that gets them backdoor. And also, you'll get a reduction of medevac dropship abilities. Reduce the cooldown of medevac dropship abilities by 15 seconds. So it's actually a 30-second 30 seconds because you said 45 earlier.
It's 45 baseline. It's reduced by 15, so it's going to be 30 seconds.
It's rare when the tooltips actually update after you take another talent. So that's why, I looked at the 10 and I was like, wait a minute.
It's not consistent. So sometimes it'll be 12 minus 6. Other times it's already minus. You see the 6. It says minus 6. You're like, wait, no cooldown. But I've noticed for most heroics it does retroactively update it, which is interesting. 30-second medevacs.
30-second medevacs with a 3-second protection window, and Greymane did go Wizened Duelist, so he's trying to scale up a little bit more in his damage as we do have a Baylog going down. This is still, once again, 30k playing around that map manipulation. I'm sure Justin will have a lot to discuss about this because this is a lot of hiding, but in places where you don't expect the members of 30k to be, and I think Simplicity, they're kind of sharking around. They're like, where is the enemy side? 15 seconds on the boss or bottom lane, 5 seconds for the boss and top. Teams have literally swapped priorities on their bosses.
Yeah, and both of these bosses are higher value to the, let's say, the opponent, the opposing team. As well, actually, I say that that's not really true. It's not symmetrical, actually. 30k is looking to get a keep off of this. Simplicity is looking to all in off of this.
They're going core, and I think 30k knows because Eric died scouting out the enemy on the boss, Simplicity.
So they're going fast.
They gotta go fast. Either they medevac back or they are all in because that boss still has to truck its way through the bottom lane, and there is going to be some back coming out from the side of Simplicity. This looks like it should be a keep to go down and then a backup from 30k.
No, I don't think you back up. It's full HP. I think it's a full HP. You go. Except Morales immediately gets all in by 2 tanks. Can't do anything. Gets completely buffeted by the wind tunnel. Massive jump there by the 2 tanks into wind tunnel, but this is buying time for the boss. Core HP is guaranteed. That's a lot of damage on Murden. He gets saved by Johanna with the Heaven's Fury, with that healing, with the Unstoppable. So core damage will indeed be done. But with everyone dead, the entire team of 30k has to Hearthstone away. Actually, I say everyone, but it's just Morales and Eric. So 6% on the core. The keep was taken down. How does 30k get on with the defense? Maybe they take about 6% as well. No, just 2%, and they didn't end up losing a keep. So if they can bridge the gap where Morales comes back, 30k is giga fine.
Uh-oh, don't. Uh-oh, we're using some Lobber terminology on this one, but I think that actually worked out really well for Simplicity. Mene's wind tunnel into the wall was perfect against Morales, and the same thing, the falling sword with the Heaven's Fury from Johanna was just able to get into that backline so very well, but now Simplicity are aggressing, excuse me, they are trying to press in and equalize through the top lane. Catapults are arriving on the right side of our, on Simplicity's core. I was just going to quickly check it. Thanks, Observer, for showing that. 708 damage into structures from catapults, so quite strong. I don't know if it's game-ending for the side of 30k, as there's actually a second catapult wave coming into that top lane.
The Siege Giant does 590 into structures. The Keep has 8,000 health. And Muradin is sometimes hitting it. He's got that Sledgehammer upgrade. He just did a 1,700 damage Sledgehammer into Keep. He's got 6,000 left. 2 catapults now on core of Simplicity. 30k kind of has to work with the idea, do we buy time for that? Do we backdoor? You're technically in a position where Morales can go straight for core. And Eric is actually doing some back interrupts. They are going to Medivac straight into the core. No, don't get in. Morales solo suicide. Oh, trolled.
3
pranked.
seconds of protection. She's got 3 seconds of protection. Yasu is going to try and make the Monkasteer happen. If Yasu gets out of this, there's no way. There's no way. Mene should have this. Yeah.
It's not 3 seconds of duration. So they tried to blow up Murden in the meantime. Johanna is saving him once again. I think this is okay. The little silver lining for 30k is that they did manage to snatch this objective. But it's risky, man. Losing Morales once again. Obviously, Simplicity had to respond to it, but I loved that they sent a few people there and not everybody. They don't know how full that medevac is going to be, but they still had the confidence to ignore the attack of the medevac with some of them so that they could maintain some pressure at the tribute, even though they didn't end up getting it.
I'm actually blown away by how 30k are kind of manipulating all of this, as the camp will be stolen away. Johanna is scouting forward in the bush. We have Olaf trying to back away. He will fall. Play again, though, is up and available for the Vikings. They can utilize that, and it's going to be a mid lane clear. I think Legacy might just get this channel. Yeah, Bad Benny has to disengage. The Beetle's not enough to stall out. But now, what does Simplicity get with this objective phase? So they do have the bottom lane pushed in, top lane pushed in, and mid is pushed out a little bit.
So this is interesting. Of course, top keep will be a main target here for Simplicity, and they should love to bring everybody there without any concern for the back door, but they can't ignore the back door. I think 30k here will be ready to write off the fake medevac. He's pretending to go to the core, and it totally doesn't work. He went from... he could have walked that. He just took an Uber for like 1 block. But... that was just a trick. He tried to make people back. Somehow they didn't believe it.
Fool me once. Oh, that's a wind tunnel. Dino, falling sword. Dino should be the target. We do have Unaverted being pressured by Bad Benny, who pops the rewind. That's going to be the Probius going down. That's actually first kill for 30k. That was their first kill on this map. Just now into Probius. Meanwhile, though, in bottom lane, Eric's doing Viking things, pushing up these Siege Giants that he did grab. And all in all, an objective phase. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to hold this for a second because there might be... no, it's going to be the split of the Vikings. Okay, I thought they were going to try and stall out the Johanna, have a rotation from the rest of the team, but that's not the case. Hazuabs goes back to the harassment onto this bottom lane, and here's a boss steal, but Murden will scout it out.
Okay, Murden's here. He's got that 9-second cloak. He starts with the Stormbolt. This is going to be a tough steal. Mighty Gust is 12 seconds out. Murden jumps on. They know if they lose this boss, it could very well be a good game. Meta comes in. He hits a big boomerang on Li Ming. Liam getting attacked there. Has that spell armor loss. He calamities in. Is that a mistake? Liam is so low. 40% HP. Liam goes down, but so does Murden. There's the Mighty Gust. They bought enough time for it. Bad Benny burrow charges in to keep occupation on the point. And 30k 30k just loses 1 2/3 hero, killing 2. That's a good trade by a third. And now they have got the boss. There is no counter threat at their core. This is insane. Falling Sword is already back, but it came too late for Johanna. 30k, wow, so cool. They have that big bonus damage on Dino, 20 out of 30 stacks of that bonus auto attack damage. They could even do a medevac to get that 3-second protected, though it would take 3 seconds just to take off. It's an option, but it doesn't look like they need it.
Bad Benny gets chunked, but we have Dino on the core. There's actually they're going to utilize it. Where are they going? Why are they leaving? Yeah, they knew that they had the game because boss would have ended. They also had Hazuabs who didn't get into the medevac, but I have to say that right there, that might be, and I know it's the first map of the day, that boss play, at least right now, that is the play of the day for me right now. And it was such a cool moment. Really, really good back and forth. And I think the biggest thing for me, like MVP feels like Hazuabs, but the MVP is the overall patience of 30k in this match. There was so much patience and a lot of good tactics utilized to kind of slow down Simplicity's advancements. But my analysis aside, I need to get Justin back in here because I'm sure you got the big breakdown on how 30k won this map on Curse Hollow.
Yeah, that was a very strange game overall. It was really back and forth, really close. We had at one point both teams taking each other's bosses and getting 98% to 94% on the core. It was a nice attempt by Mene. He got the Gust top onto Medic. I thought that 30k was going to lose the game there. They got the Gust into the wall onto the Medic, but somehow all of 30k were able to back up enough to actually all go back in time to defend their core. So I think that might have been a small mistake from Simplicity, maybe focusing a little bit too much on clearing the boss, because if they send even one member to chase them down, then I don't think 30k can go back there. That might be a lot worse for them, but just really smart kind of macro from 30k and Simplicity as well. Simplicity was in this weird situation where they win all the fights and like they can't team fight in the late game for 30k in a straight up 5v5 against Simplicity if Simplicity is all ready and prepared for it. 30k should just always lose that in a 5v5, so they had to find kind of just sneaky ways to get macro advantages. You saw a lot of the time Hasuabs on the Vikings as well as Yasu on the Medic with the fake medvacs to the core just to buy time and distract. There's just a lot of mind games occurring on a macro front, which they needed to do because they know that in a straight 5v5 they shouldn't win. But as soon as the Falstad looks for the pick on Dino mid, that was really the moment where 30k is able to win the game because Dino immediately turns and just one-shots the Probius. That was, I think, the game-winning play for 30k because they have no business winning a team fight 5v5 at level 20. So that to them was their go signal. But they don't just go straight to boss and make it super telegraphed. They have Hasuabs with the Vikings splitting them up bottom and making it look like they're going to backdoor first with the Vikings. And then he creates pressure on the bot side of the map so that they can start the boss without immediately getting fought. And then on the boss point, they do somehow manage to win that. It was a 5v4 for them, so that was sort of their window. Is there's no Probius. This is the one fight we can win. We're 5v4. And it was a strange dynamic in that game between Simplicity knowing they can win fights and wanting to siege, but also knowing that if they send 5 people to siege, they'll immediately get medvaced into their core and backdoored. So there was just a lot of threat from both sides. And yeah, really, really close overall, but 30k, just that one mistake mid on the Probius, getting picked off by Dino, the engage gone wrong for Mene. Just really, really crazy game there. A lot of mind games occurring from both teams.
What was really big there in that attempted blow up of Greymane is that level 7 Lieutenant Morales talent, Vanadium Plating, taking the armor of Greymane, who was getting all in by Falling Sword and getting stunned by Muradin and Johanna, taking his armor up from 35 to 55, while the healing beam was never interrupted. His far proximity away from Greymane meant he didn't get Falling Sworded, so Yasu kind of there with that game-saving talent. He must be pleased to finally use a non-meta healer in a successful game in CCL. He's been trying so much. Whitemane, Alex Strasa, Taronda.
I think it worked out pretty well. And there was also on the note of Dino, I believe it was on the Greymane. He actually went into, I think, a couple different talents. Nothing crazy, but more Worgen-based talents with like the Alpha Killer for percent-based damage. There was the Unfettered Assault for more Razor Swipe value and cooldown reduction. So I think there's a lot of really good adjustments made from 30k throughout that first map. As we get ready to get into our second map, I'm excited to find out where we're going to go to because it's been exciting so far in that Cursed Hollow map, and the drafts have definitely been Interesting to say the least. I want to get your thoughts because I don't think we're ready to find out the map just yet, Justin. So I want to get your thoughts on the Probius. Do you think, was it strong? Was it weak? I just want to get your blunt opinion on it.
So it definitely helped Simplicity a lot in the early game, but it wasn't just to be able to defend bottom against the Siege from 30k, but it didn't necessarily translate too well into the late game. The way that Simplicity had to play the game in the late game, it didn't really help them too much. And yeah, I mean, it could have been replaced by a Junkrat, or even, it's a little weird, but even like a Deathwing, which, okay. I mean, considering they picked Probius, I don't know how far Deathwing is on the scale of weird picks, but that would have a global. It would be able to do the same thing in the early game of clearing bottom. Just picking something like that, even a Mephisto would be good.
I'm a little hesitant to call Deathwing a global because it takes him 5 seconds out of combat to fly. Then he needs to stay in the air for 8 seconds and takes another 2 to land or so. So when someone needs you, you need like at least 15 seconds to get ready for that, which doesn't really feel like a global. So.
Well, it's a little bit faster than Probius, I'd assume, though. Still, if he's got to zoom his way, if he's got to use his little leg things, his little flippers. But I mean, yeah, it's not a true global for sure.
Yeah, I want to see the race between Probius and Deathwing across the map at some point. But we do have our next map ready to go, so we can find out where we're going to be heading into, and it's going to be the map choice of 30k to take us to Alterac Pass, as the members of Simplicity have opted in for first pick priority. And more interesting stats about the picks and such today. 30k are winless on this map. They're 0-2, but we go to the side of Simplicity. They're 4-0 on Alterac Pass, so some sort of confidence is in the air from 30k on this pickup right now, as they have never played in season 3 of CCL on Cursed Hollow. They take a victory there, and actually on the note of Deathwing, I'm trying to recall in the back of my brain. I don't think we've seen a single Deathwing in this season of CCL. Which is kind of crazy, Justin.
Yeah, if we have, it maybe would have been one game from Swamp Grotto, but I don't remember if he has played it or not. I think the reason to take them to Alterac is it has felt every time we've seen Simplicity on this map, it's just been Masquerade getting a Nubarak and getting the objective by himself for free. I'm really expecting them to either have a response to that, either something that can just poke at him over the wall, or just a straight out ban on a Nubarak, or picking it up themselves. I'm not expecting them to allow Masquerade to do the very obvious Masquerade things that he's been doing on this map with the Nubarak, just sneaking objective every single game. Especially with 30k being the team that picked the map, not expecting that at all. I am, however, expecting Simplicity to need to put a lot of extra caution on the bosses, because we do have Dino, and he does know how to solo bosses on this map with Li Ming, he could probably do it with Tracer as well. Almost anything that he plays, I'm sure he can basically just solo the boss on this map, so gonna have to be paying extra attention to Dino stealing the bosses and potential Masquerade and Nubarak stealing the objective.
Nubarak's available, Joanna's available, Junkrat's available, Stukov's available, Rhaegar's available. We have the world is open for the side of Simplicity, Grubby. But what do you think? Maybe what would you even grab?
The Blaze ban is 30k saying we either get Johanna or a Nubarak. Otherwise, absolutely, they would ban Johanna now. So maybe Johanna is like super OP and busted in her numbers, but there's something about her as a solo laner that makes her more okay to 30k. As in, Johanna usually cannot get solo kills on people in that solo lane. And if you take someone like Dahaka does set that up. But 30k is like, okay, you get Johanna. I would expect 100% to get Falstad and Nubarak here, Right Wing and Nubarak, Greymane and Nubarak, or Stukov and Nubarak. That would be what I would predict, and everything else would be like an even deeper level of drafting knowledge. Oh yeah, okay, I forgot that one. But yeah, that makes total sense. This is along the expected level 1 psychology. We're giving Johanna, but we're getting 2 other really strong heroes, which is a totally acceptable first half of the draft kind of strategy for 30k. Now what does Simplicity do?
Justin, what do you think?
So, with 30k taking the new Rhaegar and Johanna being picked up by Simplicity, I think this should favor Simplicity. They're going to be able to get whatever support they want later in the draft. They're fine with Brightwing, they're fine with Stukov. They don't even have to pick the Stukov here, they get the Dahaka instead, which leads us to assume that Johanna is the main tank. Simplicity right now, with what they have with their picks, they do have 3 standard picks, and I'm not sure if we'll see this from them, but they do have the workings of a potential Abathur composition. Not sure if they'll play that, but things have been a little bit weird in the series so far, so I wouldn't completely rule that out. Junkrat, Johanna, Dahaka is kind of an iconic combo of heroes with that old school Abathur composition style that we've seen a couple times before. So that is possible. They do get to hold their support for later. They did get Johanna, and they do have the Junkrat, which can kind of respond to the Anubarak. As long as Junkrat's aware of the fact that Anubarak's going to be trying to steal the objective, you can't really do it if a Junkrat's just chucking grenades at you over the wall. So they should have a response to it. I'm not expecting Bad Bunny to get quite as much value as we've seen Masquerade get on the Anubarak in the early game.
I'm wondering if even the Abathur could be for the side of 30k. You could go into that Tracer Abathur sort of combo as well. You would be lacking a little bit of a front line, so you'd have to try and make up with it. But either way, we'll see what happens, because it is going to be a Hogger who is very, 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 very good at grabbing that null camp, and this will be the Lunara as well. Had a lot of weeks of Hazuabs playing this Lunara Grubby, and he's been extremely strong with the ranged assassin.
Yeah, mostly playing Thornwood fine, though both are possible. He seems to prefer that style. We've seen that a lot from him. This also brings a second cleanse to 30k when they do already have one in the hands of Rhaegar in Yasuo's hands. Yeah. There is, of course, plenty to cleanse, traps, drag tongue. We're getting a very vanilla draft that just kind of works because every hero is super strong on Simplicity side. It's not any kind of single target orientation, macro only orientation. It's just, it can do everything. And I'd say very much the same is true for 30k's side.
Before I let Justin break everything down, I actually have some fun little stats for both these teams. Lunara is lossless on the side of 30k 5-0, and Deckard Cain is 7-0 for Simplicity, 100% win rate. So one of these heroes, one of these teams will have their first loss on either Deckard or Lunara, as Hanzo will be last pick. Just a quick little stat for anyone who wants it, because that's actually 7 wins without a single loss on Deckard. That's pretty good, Justin, but want to get your thoughts on the draft, what we could potentially see for results for Alterac Pass.
Yeah, it's tough to say if one team has a huge advantage in the draft, especially with the Johanna being picked up. I'd say if they didn't have that Johanna, I would favorite 30k's comp quite a bit, but the Johanna kind of changes things, because especially as the game gets later, if they're able to use it a little bit better in those late game team fights, she's really, really insane here. And this won't be quite the same as the last game where 30k was just dodging Simplicity the entire game. In the late game, they're going to have to play around those objectives where Johanna can get a lot of that shield flare value, where she gets the damage, she gets the healing, and that's kind of the reason that she's so strong right now. And if you want to play on the objective at all, it's pretty easy to hit 3 or 4 man blinds in that choke on the objective. So that's pretty good for them. They've also got the Junkrat traps. They do have Lunara and Rhaegar cleanse, but that might not be quite enough for all of the CC coming out from Simplicity. But on the other side, 30k, they do have really good blow-up one-shot potential with Anubarak. They've got Hogger who can dive in, Lunara who has just incredible burst, Hanzo with a potential arrow to set everything up. And that is into a Deckard solo heal on the side of Simplicity with no extra cleanse, no Lunara, no Zarya, nothing like that. So I think the execution is a little bit harder for 30k, but they should be able to win the 5v5s. It's just things get a little bit scary once you hit level 20 for the side of Simplicity. They think their level 20s are quite a bit better than 30k's are.
Alrighty, Justin, well, thank you for the breakdown as always, because we are back into Alterac Pass, and on the side of Stormpike Vandar, we've got 30k. We've got Liam on the Hogger, Hazoabs on the Lunara, Bad Benny on the Anubarak, Yasu to play the Rhaegar, and Dino on the Hanzo. Over on the side of Drekthar's Orcish Horde, we're going to be seeing Masquerade playing the Johanna, Mene on the Tychus, Dahaka played by Pants, Legacy on the Deckard, and Junkrat to be played by Unaverted. That'll be your Simplicity roster. I definitely agree with Justin that there's a lot of late game value from Simplicity, but I'm feeling good about the 30k draft. I'm feeling good about how they played in map number 1. So I'm liking what they put together here. I'm liking what they could potentially win out on. But what do you think about all this, or even just the draft, Grubby?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I lean a little bit towards 30k. They've got multiple ways of engagement, a little bit more than Simplicity, and I think that always helps. They played quite strong and smart last game. Simplicity, though, I'll never count them out.
That's true.
I'd say it's a 50-50, but let's say 51-49. They're going to have to prove it in the game.
And Hanzo Dino is going to be going into that target practice at level 1, so he will need to hit every enemy hero 3 times to get the extra 100 damage on the Storm Bow. But once you hit every enemy hero once, you get a 30% range increase, which is going to be a great way to poke at these objective phases while trying to stay away from drags of Dahaka, concussion mines of Junkrat, and even just the CC potential of the Deckard Cain and Joanna. So liking the adaptations right there, and Hazuab's just putting a couple little points of damage onto Pants in this bottom lane, forcing the Essence to be utilized. As the start of this map is pretty standard between both teams, we are going to see the Null camp a little bit faster on the right, and as Grubby and I have discussed many a times, it's a little bit better for the first couple of these of these camps to be a little bit later than the enemy side, as you'll have more push potential into their fort front gate.
And you'll see that with the Hogger camp on the left doing armor debuff against the Hogger camp on the right, while the Hogger camp on the right is taking damage from the towers. That's always nice. You can kind of see that now. They're surrounded, you see. All of them are minus 20 armor, but for the blue Hoggers, only 1 or 2 of them are getting armor debuffed. This one is now alive, and it gives 30k the chance to either push with it after they kill the wave. There isn't that much left on them, or to leave now and do a 4v1 somewhere else. Hazops is staying. No, he's leaving as well. So now he's staying. So you could quickly try to rotate on the other lanes, but Simplicity wasn't born yesterday either, and you can see the Haka just starting to kind of go behind this gate as he realizes that vision was lost, that 30k might be rotating.
Good shield glare from Masquerade rotating to top lane as Mene actually dives into the bush, and Bad Benny was trying to actually force him back, but Legacy does show in the lane, and that is going to be some healing potions on the ground, so Bad Benny respects the matchup and backs away. But our first objective phase, our prison locations will open up. It's going to be a 30-second channel time necessary to be able to summon your Alliance or Horde cavalry in your lanes. We'll see which of these two teams will be able to do so as Bad Benny meets Masquerade in the bush. Dino getting another stack on his on his target practice. He has 1 stack fully completed as Bad Benny's trying to do the Beetle thing. He's actually going to do it just perfectly here, hitting the channel while his Beetle annoys the jailers.
Yeah, Bad Benny just basically occupying multiple people there coming in for the defense. So that's a pretty sweet move. Hogger camps are going to collide again in the center. As everyone for 30k starts to look at the middle. Lunara still kind of clearing top, and we've got about 4 30kers potentially able to compete for the objective in the mid wave. And what's working really well for 30k is that they are getting to level 7 just a little bit closer, which is quite impressive, being up against the Haka to get to that phase quickly. But Masquerade doing a great job of preventing the objective from being channeled fully.
We will see that kind of burst ability for Hazuabs come online with this level 7 choking pollen. We also will see the Dragon Hungers at level 7 for the Hanzo for some more spell power. Rhaegar, he's going Purification, Grubby. I love this talent. Not only can you get the cooldown reduction 40%, and you can heal your allies when you use the Purge on slow, stun, root, and silence effects on an ally, but now your Purge... Oh, wait, Mene in top lane almost gets the trade onto Hazuabs. But the other factor is using Purge on the enemy hero deals 452 scaling damage to shields, so good for Joanna, and reduces the healing received by 40% for 3 seconds. That's going to be really, really cool to see some healing mitigation coming out from that. I personally, like, I'm not the biggest, like, healer support main. It's my weakest category. It's my least favorite to play. I love playing new Rhaegar. I absolutely adore him. He's so much fun to play.
Have you tried this one yet? He's got a different level 4 as well. The Bearer of Lightning Shield heals for 20% of the damage it deals to enemy heroes. Doesn't seem particularly good on a Nubarak, but decent on Hogger when you're spinning, I suppose. Doubled when the Bearer is Rhaegar. When Lightning Shield is damaging an enemy, that Bearer also gains 10% increased movement speed. Is that stacking, that 10% increased movement speed, or do you get 110 or better?
I'm trying to... I feel like it'd be stacking.
If you're 130, do you become 140? If you're 140, do you go 150? It seems hard to believe that you could be that fast.
Well, with like Garrosh, doesn't it work that way with Zarya and...
I think I think usually movement speed just takes the minimum, which means 10% only buffs 100% or slowed
Okay.
heroes. And Anubrak has his own movement speed, Rhaegar has his own movement speed, Ogre has his own movement speed, Lunara has her own movement speed, though it's alternating, so I think it actually is best on her. Doesn't feel like a fantastic talent here. Even as Ogre, for the second time, outplays and kills Junkrat, Leon. Damn, like, how is Unaverted getting that close, but he gets blown up twice by Hogger?
You are not. Liam is not allowed to get any. Oh, that was an error. Okay. All right. His giant flail or hammer type weapons are usually a little too strong. So Hogger, Yrel, they're in like the same ballpark of playstyle. But seriously, like Liam really does know how to get those staggering blows into the structures, the knockback against the walls. I think, and he did go for that shock wave, a 70-second cooldown. It's on 30 seconds now, so I see a world where that is kind of the setup into Unaverted for some sort of chain CC play as Anubrak is forced to use the burrow charge to back away.
And to be fair, we didn't see the beginning of the engages on Junkrat twice, so it might have been an absolutely inspirational quintuple bounce by Hogger, getting some kind of crazy speed. Hazelop's peppering them with Thornwood Vine from the center. Pans comes in, misses Drag Tongue, Impale doesn't connect yet. That's great, goes in, he's still got that Falling Sword, uses Iron Skin early. Not sure against any particular one thing, more just kind of doing a block, and it's a 5-on-5 here. 30k is super happy with that, because they still have the Hogger camp pushing mid.
And they also got Shockwave back if they want to try and lock someone down. They've got Cocoon to maybe take Mene out of the fight. I'm waiting to see if we see that onto Mene. Isolation will connect onto Anubrak. He's going to be forced to back away. Hans looking at Liam, who's going to look for the bounce off of the old structure, the crumbled fort, and that's actually a nice play. Anubrak once again, a narrow arrow. And there's a Falling Sword to mitigate that regardless of whether or not it connected.
So the Hogger camp was pushing, but Simplicity fought entirely within the space that it still needed to make it to the keep wall. So although the pressure was there, it never reached a crucial point where it became
Legacy.
a problem. Oh,
Legacy just walked forward. Legacy was where he was standing. He was so far forward from the rest of his team. I don't know why.
I was looking at top lane and I was like, yeah, that minion wave is a bit of an issue. And then you're saying that he just walked in to the boss tunnel?
Yeah, that corridor on the right-hand side, where the bush is and the trap. Yeah, that little corridor on the right-hand side.
He wanted to Herodric cube the boss or the bush. Maybe he was doing something safe like bush check. And was he being trapped around the corner of this little rock?
He didn't even really make it into the corridor fully. It was just there was already a Nubrak in the bush, and they pulled the trigger perfectly onto him. Actually, you know what? If we could actually get a highlight of that, we could actually do maybe a replay and check it out if we have the opportunity for it in the future. But right now, an objective phase is up and available, and there is that camp in mid. Liam is clearing that out. 13 to 12 in our levels, and 30k. They're building this momentum, but Simplicity are not out of this by any means. 13 talent here, still a big talent for the Simplicity rosters. You will have some potential with Big Az or Chattering Teeth.
Yeah, maybe that's gonna help that level 13. We also get that Deckard AoE damage. Let's see what happened to Legacy before and whether it was at all forgivable. Of course it is. Never know what's going on there. So, okay. Oh yeah, that is indeed a bit weird. Maybe he thought Falling Sword, the Cocoon, Falling Sword is not available. They must have known that as well. 26-second cooldown. Okay. Meanwhile, a steal on the camp from Hogger, and you know what it is? It's like that movie with Bruce Willis, Speed. You can't ever stop. Oh, unaverted.
Wait, is that Keanu Reeves? Anyways, stay well and listen. I think it's Keanu Reeves, but that doesn't matter because Rhaegar goes down. We have the drag onto Dino as well. This is where Simplicity is going to start to make some momentum for their own side. We do have a boss taking down the fort and top. The null camp in mid lane will be cleared out.
I thought it was Bruce Willis. Oh no, that's Drive Hard.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, I get it now. Boss is still pushing top. Objective forced by Simplicity. They do get a sweet kill there on Rhaegar and Han. So Boss is going to do a bit of structural damage. Mena, burrow charge forward. Bad Penny keeps doing that. He just stands. The moment Mena running gun forward, Bad Penny hits him with an impale every time. Legacy again in front. This time he gets attacked. Not quite enough damage this time, as Hogger does a pretty damn good spin. Wow, very nice. But it's Simplicity that still manages to channel the objective.
Legacy and Pants are very low. If Anubrak can make the combo happen. He doesn't actually make it. Actually, he holds the impale. Hogger, Liam gets a fantastic staggering blow into the wall, and that yields the kill. Isolation may be used, but it's not going to actually stop the death of this Dahaka. This is a perfect moment for 30k because maybe they take a little bit of structural damage, but in my eyes, they shouldn't lose a fort off of this objective.
Yeah, I mean, with the kills that they get there, they've pretty much entirely negated the damage from this objective. Absolutely, as we say in the Netherlands, a proverb, this one is real. I made the last one up. You never noticed, though. How would you know? This one is real. Coming home from a cold fair. Can you imagine you're going with your friends to go to like a fun fair, you know, with like the roller coasters and everything? But then it was like cold, and you come home kind of like a bedraggled wet cat. Yeah, when something doesn't work out and wasn't fun and didn't go as planned, you come home from a cold fair. That's Simplicity right now. They thought it was going to be good. They got the objective. 2 heroes died. Come home from a cold fair.
I love that. That's a nice one right there. I was trying to think of is there anything in English or United States like culture where we have something like that. I'm sure there is, but I'm completely blanking on it, trying to find one of my own. But I have to say, the cold fair has arrived for the side of Simplicity, but it's definitely a summer fair to the side of 30k, as they are just having a blast here. They're pushing in the map. The fights have been looking good at 7-3 in kills. It's a talent tier advantage for a slight moment. Actually, 16 just now coming in. And I think Bad Benny, they were advancing not only to clear this camp, but to threaten Mene and just continually force Simplicity to turtle up around their keep area structures. Will we see a fight on even talent tiers, or does Masquerade call for kind of a hold here?
We should hear from them once. I don't know if now is like the best time, like intentional loser comms. Like oftentimes we're not sure which way it's gonna swing, but this is like full back foot Simplicity. But I do want to hear from them because they're such an amazing team, and they're having a tough time right here. Like I kind of said at the beginning of the game, they've got like 5 strong heroes, OP heroes. You said it. Legacy is 7-0 on Deckard. Each one of these heroes is absolutely insane, but together they don't have like a super full purpose. Then again, neither does really 30k, but what you can say is that 30k's got more ways of engage. Cocoon, Arrow, and even Shockwave are great initiations, whereas for Simplicity, it's walk forward, stay well, listen, dig back and get an isolation, and even Blessed Shield is missing for Johanna. So I think it is that, Bahamut. It's that passivity forced by the draft.
I'm looking at just Rhaegar talents and stuff like that as well, and he's gone into a few different ones. No Earthgrass Totem at level 16 like we normally see. It's actually going to be Hunger of the Wolf, which Ghost Wolf attacks against enemy heroes, deal an additional 6% of the target's maximum health, and heals Rhaegar for 6% of his maximum health. Good into Dahaka, good into Joanna, and sustainability for this Rhaegar. I think this is a different build, but as I said, I love the reworked Rhaegar. I think he's in such a cool spot, but here comes a fight into this top area.
Arrow narrowly misses on Deckard. Hogger does a fairly safe spin. I think he can get away. That's a grenade, pretty good grenade there on Liam, but he's got that bonus move speed, bonus healing as well. Dino peppering them with scatters. Nice interrupt there, but Masquerade will get the channel. That's 20 seconds left.
20 seconds going. There's a boss in bottom lane. Commandeer Odin will be summoned, and there's a bounce away by Hogger. Haraja Cube with the green around it means that there was the Emerald used. Bad Benny trying to get the channel on the right, as I think this should be objective to Simplicity. I don't see how 30k can step into this with the steel traps on the ground, with that big Az focusing, and the sticky wicket for the silence. You can't just eat a free trap on the side of 30k. You need to make sure that you have some sort of way of play around this, and I think Liam just did it perfectly, utilizing that spin just as the trap triggered onto him. Here comes a Riptire from Junkrat. And I think that's as much as we're going to be seeing, as the bottom lane boss did find a keep during all of this. So objective phase traded for boss, but also 20 talent tier to the side of 30k. And I agree with you, Grubby. I've been trying to sit here and think, like, when's a good time to get in those comms? And it doesn't feel like there is any sort of good time at all, because even though they just won this objective, it's going to be them turtled up for the vast majority of this. This is defensive, objective, gain.
Yeah, and it's 15 minutes into the game. Normally at this time, people are still looking to get their first blood on Alterac. Games go long, and here we had a momentary 3-level lead for 30k. They are not just playing around today, they're just playing.
They are playing, and they are definitely, like, it feels like they're all vibing with each other. I think is the right way to put this, because even though their comms were, you know, we were making jokes like get them some coffee, there's whatever communication's happening, it's very, very good between both sides.
Happening, yeah.
Oh yeah.
30K is playing hardball just like in the movie with Bruce Willis. Like they're not just playing around here throwing softballs. It's all full hardball and curveballs. 30K.
I love
going
that
for
movie.
though it may have been Keanu Reeves. They're going for the top balls now. That should secure the top keep and will bring Drekthar to his knees with just 20 armor if they can burst that keep. Simplicity is just looking to feverishly get their own level 20 in the center, in the bottom. They've been fully subjugated to an entirely passive role in this game and in this series. It's pretty incredible. 2-5-1 teams met. Only one of them will walk away with that one lost score, and it looks like 30K might be that, even if we're just in the second map.
Boss is starting to step through top as well, and a little bit of pre-pressure from the side of 30K as the boss arrives, trying to take down the keep front gate. Looking to see heroics across the border off of cooldown. We do have our 20s up. No big as for, no extra oomph for the Junkrat. Junkrat, he went into the cannonball, but here comes the Commandeer Odin with the big red button. Condemn from Joanna. A lot of damage into Joanna as well, as we do see Hazuabs being forced away as well as Bad Benny, but this boss, it's going to take down the keep, and this is an objective phase, spawning in the bottom portion of the map, with Commandeer Odin going down, Riptire being down, and nothing expended on the side of 30K. That's the big takeaway for me, is that they didn't have to use a single heroic, outside of maybe a couple Thornwood Vine pokes, but those are extremely low cooldowns.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
No, I just saw in chat, the movie name was actually Die Hardball.
You know, people argue about Die Hardball, whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not. There's a lot of Christmas themes. There's someone says ho ho ho. Like, how is it not a Christmas movie? Thank you, Chat. Chat always knows all these things that we always forget mid broadcast. But you know what?
But stop talking about movies. Let's go back to Heroes of the Storm. Jeez.
I was just about to say, this is a dire moment actually in the game. Do you want to get into Simplicity comms here?
This will be a great time. Let's go.
In we go.
It's
25.
I could attack with this.
25. I have a stall.
I have Dex.
Okay.
We need Becca's, I think.
We need people
15.
there. Yeah.
I mean, yes, but we got told
Good cap.
He's all in. It's on me, I'm good.
I think we're good, we can pelt. Can we
Use
use
rewind. Use rewind.
I'm sorry, no rewind.
Look on Regal, maybe?
Rewind. What?
Regal.
Trying to get trigger.
I can't get there. I saw this guy.
We're good.
They're on.
Run, junk.
Backing out. Yeah, that's fine.
They use like all their ults.
Yeah, we still have Odin. Let's just commit to theirs.
They're gonna get mid with Lunara.
It's fine. We have to commit.
Yeah.
Pulling 20.
I still have sleep.
I'm the noob. I need help.
Yeah.
And like, I'm ready to Odin,
Yeah,
but
come back.
I need to man up at the same time.
And looking the min up.
I'm getting farmed by this guy. I Odin, fuck it.
The
that's
noob
good.
is backdooring.
It's hitting me right now. I'm getting poked when we don't. So I
I'll go
man
fight
up.
him. I got out.
I found this guy.
I'm clicking ours.
Oh, there's two. I don't win this.
Coming back. Oh.
Maybe.
Yes.
Hanzo maybe?
Click ours.
Yeah, we just back up.
Just
I'm
probably.
fight now. I
think
can
it's
do.
I have a noob. Nice man.
Sleeping.
Hanzo.
Get big ISO here maybe? Big man ISO. Want a noob? We got Rhaegar.
Rhaegar.
Tongue Hogger. That's all I can do. Talk wave 10 seconds. Just keep it running. I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
I have a cleanse now. What do you?
Tongue Hogger.
Got one. Easy.
Some signs of life during that team fight, but unfortunately it's just not enough, and that is going to be a triple kill going over to the side, quad kill going over the side of 30K. They take down the last keep, which means that Drekthar has no armor. He's going to take full damage, Grubby, and this is going to be a 30K map. there were a few moments where Simplicity did have some shining, you know, they were going to bring it back, but even when we listen to their comms, it does feel like they're unsure of themselves, even in their own team fighting. It was just, you know, this guy, maybe I can do this, and dear Lord, Yasu is unsure of whether to back or end the game as Hazuabs gets the last auto, and that is going to be 30K taking down Simplicity on map number 2, but we're not done by any means. This is a best of 5 series. You got to win 3 maps to be able to take down your opponent, so 30K sits in the advantage slot in this best of 5, and I don't know, Grubby, as we bring Justing back into this, is there any, I'm curious, actually, Grubby, first off, will this matchup, let's say 30K 3-0 Simplicity, does this have any effect on anyone else, like, on anyone else within the standings, or is it just these 2 teams that are going to be affected by this matchup?
Let's see. There's no other team that can get a 5-1, 6-1, or a 5-2 score, so no, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
it's just a show of force between these 2 top teams, who is the Big Daddy team until the playoffs. So 30K is making that statement right now.
And we got Justing back in for the Big Daddy breakdown. I tried my best on that one, anyways. Justing, how are you feeling about that Alterac pass map? Any notes for us, and maybe even how did 30K take down Simplicity so controlled?
Yeah, that was surgical from 30K on that map. I've been kind of hinting at how I feel the boss on this map is usually really weak, but 30K took it at times where the enemy had no intention of really defending it, and they just played around the macro of the map very, very well. But they also have the team fight to back it up. So not only are they playing the macro basically flawlessly, even from the start here, we had across the lanes, we have 30K just outplaying Simplicity. It's not even a great rotation from anyone. It's not even being caught off guard. That was just straight outplaying people that you know are going to be there. And it felt like every single time they fought, 30K could just instantly blow up anyone. In this fight too, we listened to comms from Simplicity. They sounded like they were mostly reacting. You could hear Mene, almost out of frustration, pops the Odin because he's just waiting to go in. He's like, what are we waiting for? And at the same time, Unaverted on the Junkrat gets picked off in the backline. And you could tell that no one on the team really seemed like they were super sure of themselves. No one was really stepping up and being like, all right, guys, this is what we need to do. Like, this is how we win the game. It just kind of felt like they were reacting to what 30K was doing to them and not really being proactive themselves. And 30K, I can't stress enough just how good their macro was in this game. It was perfect. When Simplicity was contesting for the objective top, which should be a spot where Simplicity really thrives, is playing in that choke, 30K just doesn't give them that fight. Instead, they stall it out as long as they can while also taking the bottom boss, which by itself got the bot keep for 30K. And all of their lanes are pushed every time Simplicity gets objectives, so they already have prepped the map. They're willing to give Simplicity the objective and not fight into what Simplicity is strong at, fighting around those objectives and those chokes in a straight 5v5. They trade that for just macro pressure everywhere else. They have the boss that pushes down bottom, gets the entire keep by itself, and then their lanes are also pushing as well. And the objective on this map is similar to Tomb of the Spider Queen. If you don't prep your waves, if all your waves are sitting in your base, the objective doesn't do much. It does a ton when you're winning, when you're ahead, when your waves are even in the middle of the map, but when your lanes are pushed in, it doesn't do anything because they have to go all the way across the map. And 30K would also just look for fights. As soon as Simplicity got the objective, 30K wouldn't let them push their waves out. They just chased them down. And I was a little worried the level 20 for Simplicity was going to be way too strong, but even with Simplicity hitting level 20 in that game, they were down 2 keeps by that point. 30K had perfectly played it up until that point. They got the top boss as well, and they get the Odin out, and they leave the second the Odin comes out, with knowing exactly how much damage the boss is going to do to the keep to finish it off. They played that game nearly flawlessly. I've got to say a bit of mistakes on the side of Simplicity for sure. Legacy making that kind of weird play bottom where he just walked up and died. That was pretty important. That kind of started the snowball for 30K. We also just had Unaverted on the Junkrat getting picked off way too much by Liam on the Hogger. And Hogger's my MVP for this series, or for this game. He looked really, really good in this game. He made Hogger look really OP. And this was the first game with a Shockwave Hogger that I felt looked really strong. Typically we see the Shockwave and I don't see it get too much value. This game, Liam on Hogger got a ton of value with it. And 30K just looks ridiculous. They look like the first place team right now.
Well, it's definitely possible for 30K as we are getting ready for map number 3, but we have to take a short little break. In that break, I encourage you to hit ! prize pool. I see you all raising that prize pool. We already broke $10,000 today, and I've seen that you all have donated a little extra nice money. We're at $10,069.69 nice cents. So thank you all at home for supporting HeroesCCL. If you'd like to push that prize pool even further, you can use ! prize pool in chat. But as I said, we're going to take a short little break. When we come back, 30K versus Simplicity. Will 30K 3-0, or does Simplicity start the potential of a reverse sweep? Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. I'm still Bahamut, still joined by Grubby and Justing, and from time to time, from what I've heard in the break, maybe Springy has been chiming in on the draft. I gotta ask, Justing, is Springy not liking what we've seen today so far? Like, what's up?
Oh, she was just really excited about Game 1's draft, I think.
Okay.
She likes, well, she hates the Vikings, so that might be what it is. I've taught her well, so she was not happy with that.
I feel like if anything, Probius would be a nice little ball that she could then just destroy completely. Maybe I got a thing against Protoss. Maybe that's just it. Maybe it's not just Phoenix. But we are getting ready for our next map. We are in our first best of 5 of the day, and it's 30K going up against Simplicity, and 30K is looking fairly strong to start out this best of 5 series. But we've had some reverse sweeps throughout Season 3 of CCL, and this could be the potential start for the side of Simplicity. So let's go ahead and find out where we're going to head to for map number 3. This will be the map choice of Simplicity, and they will choose to take us to Battlefield of Eternity. Now, once again, as always, some map stats for all of you at home. 30K are lossless on this map, as they are 5-0. The members of Simplicity who have chosen this map have not won it. They've only played it once. It was a loss. So we'll see what happens here, but the members of 30K are going to a map that they are fairly dominant on, and Grubby, you know what comes to mind when we go to Battlefield of Eternity and it's 30K?
A movie analogy?
I was trying my best. I
really
really was.
too, I'm guessing, but go ahead. Spill the beans.
It's gonna be like, I think of Thor all the time with just that gigantic hammer, and then I think, oh yes, Liam on Yrel. And we remember back in comms a week or two ago where he's like, yeah, I'm solo killing them. Actually, he did that last week on Battlefield, and then he did it a couple weeks ago with Yrel on Battlefield. So anyways, Grubby, I'm super excited for Yrel Liam. What is your excitement at for this Battlefield of Eternity map?
Very excited about that as well, because just thinking of it from Simplicity's perspective, they have to ban which heroes, guys? They have to ban Yrel. The counterbanning Liam actually didn't work out all too well for the opponent of 30K. Anubarak has been thrashing them with great cocoon timings, Bad Penny, like flipping the switch, having that initiative. So Anubarak's a problem. Johanna is a problem. Obviously, Simplicity favors Johanna. They've lost twice with it, but they think it's good. Are they happy to give that away? Like, does Liam like to go Johanna? Rhaegar was a terror. He took 0 totem talents last game, but he had the 6% damage. He had that movement speed, extra damage from Lightning Shield. A lot of cool talents coming in there, and he looked really, really powerful and oppressive as well.
We were talking about this a little bit, and I think we did land on the answer, but I did double check based on the in-game. There's like a little stat sheet that you can actually pull up with detailed stats on movement speed and such. And you are completely correct, Grubby. It just takes the higher of the two. It doesn't give him 140, because I was looking, I was like, okay, he's got the chain lightning on himself, and he's in ghost form. It's just 130%. So you are correct on that one. I just wanted to validate you in your correctness. But nice. Gotta get Justing into all of this right now, because I'm sure you got a couple thoughts on Battlefield of Eternity for these two teams.
Yeah, so this is Simplicity picking a map that you touched on they haven't played much. I think you said there's one game on this map, and it was a loss. So they're kind of trying to do what 30K did in Game 1 by picking a map that they don't play much, there's no real info on, to kind of potentially have some kind of cheese strategy prepared. Well, they are down 0-2 in the series, and this is where they would have to start a reverse sweep. 30K recognizes that, and they ban away the Zarya first, which is a strange ban. There's no Rutzo on the other side, so it's not the ordinary typical time that we see the Zarya being banned out. And Simplicity, while losing twice with the Johanna, they're now second-guessing their draft strategy and banning it themselves, which they are second pick, so it makes sense, but it's a little concerning for Simplicity. Maybe it seems a bit like they might be sort of questioning their entire game plan coming into this series after now being down 0-2. Having their draft strategies not working previously. I wouldn't be surprised to see them switch things up, and immediately off the bat, we have them defaulting to just just perfect, just comfort for them. We have Unaverted playing Hanzo. That's something that he's been really known for. And on the other side, we do get the Lucio Tyrael. So they've got Blaze Tyrael, we have Bunker, we have Sanctification. This is a pretty classic combo of frontline between the Tyrael and the Blaze. Neither of them have great lockdown, but they just have a lot of good protection and just kind of passive effect that they put onto the enemy team and onto their teammates. And I'm expecting a Tracer ban coming out from Simplicity. If they leave Tracer up, yeah, okay. It would be a disaster for them to give the Tracer over with the Lucio and Tyrael being picked up. So that makes sense. It'll be interesting to see with Lunara and Li Ming still available if either team looks to go for that later on in the draft.
We talk about synergies like this, and I'd like you to I'd like to follow this line a little bit while we are waiting for this ban and a couple picks here. Why is the Tracer such a necessary ban from the side of Simplicity with what 30K's drafted so far, Justin?
So Tyrael, Tracer, both have a lot of dive, and Tyraels with Tracer have typically been going the auto attack style build, where the Tyrael actually does a ton of damage and heals a lot. So you pretty much just have two heroes that can chase down anybody. They have insane mobility together. You've got the move speed and the shields, which Tracer gets extra benefit from that because of her low HP pool. It's like a huge percent shield for her HP. And you just are getting run down by a Tracer and a Tyrael, and even Lucio contributes to that. Lucio and Tracer combined are kind of what I consider like mosquitoes. You just can't get them off of you. They just run you down. They're annoying. They disrupt rotations. And they're just too good of dive buddies together, so you have to ban that away.
Do love this variant pickup, Grubby. Shattering Throw into so many shields.
Yeah, possible. And it's also possible that with the Tyrael pick early, even with the aversion of Tracer's possibility of being drafted, you're thinking, cool guy hero coming out. You know, like a Genji, like a Tracer, like a Genji. And variant can be good to lock down into those.
Ooh.
What?
That's some big aggression.
Huh. Li Ming, Lunara, nothing weird there. They're together with Hanzo, they're the three pokers on the Immortal. They're good. They're always good. But Leoric, I find it a bit of an out there pick already. Varian as well, trying to preordain like a cool guy hero. And then Alarak coming out into a very fast team with relatively small hitboxes except for Blaze. I don't think Alarak is that easy to play here.
I think Alarac's extremely difficult, but yeah, please, Justin, break it on down for us.
So Alarak on this map, this is actually one of his better maps. You don't see it very often. I remember we were scrimming in Gold Club, and we were playing against MVP Black, and they picked Alarak on this map in scrims, and we thought they were trolling, and they completely bodied us with it. So it's not something to really scoff at. Playing around the objective when the enemy team has Alarak is very, very dangerous. You can always be pulled from anywhere onto a stun orb from the Immortal, which just makes his engage range really, really scary. And if the Alarak is played well, he can combo it with the Varian to help push people into range for Varian to get the taunt. They do have Lucio, who has the potential to go high five, which should be able to kind of negate that. One thing on the side of 30K that they don't have is good, solid lockdown CC, like Simplicity has, which means that Dino on the Li Ming is going to really have to show off his mechanical skill if he's going to want to make the Li Ming have any value at all. Typically, you want to have a stun tank with that so that you have easy setup to follow up with the Li Ming. He's got no setup. He is the setup. He is the follow-up. He's all of it, but it is Dino, and he's been just really impressing in all these games so far. So, and 30K is definitely happy getting Li Ming and Lunara with their last two picks. We've seen before, those are normally just super high priority picks on this map. So, yeah, 30K looking real strong here, but the Alarak factor is crazy.
The Alarak factor is going to be very interesting. Thank you, Justin, for the analysis and breakdown, as always, because on the side of Alarian, we have the members of 30K who are looking to close things out in a 3-0 way. Liam on the Blaze, Hazoabs on the Lunara, Yasu to play the Lucio, Dino on the Li Ming, and Bad Benny on the Tyrael. Over in the red, backed by Belith, we have the members of Simplicity looking to rally and take us to a map number 4. We've got Legacy on the Anduin, Mene on the Leoric, Pants on the Alarak, Unaverted on the Hanzo, and Masquerade to play the Varian. I'm feeling 30K. The only kind of thing for me is kind of what Justin said. There's a little lack of lockdown from the side of 30K. And the Tyraels, it's hard for me to, like, I've been sold on a couple Tyraels, Grubby, but not on all of them. And so we'll see how it all works out. But it's also Yasu Lucio, so a bunch of Cecil Steers in chat. But I got to get your thoughts, Grubby. Who do you think could potentially take this, or maybe even just what you think of the drafts?
I think it's very likely that we're going to see a 30K victory in the series with Alarak. I would say it could even be a 3-0 here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it is
face.
possible. Yeah, shock face. He said it. But yeah, Alarak used to be super good on this map, and I still think he's a Storm League pop stomper. I don't think 30k is gonna get caught out by it as much. Now, while he seems a comboer and a spellcaster, there's a little bit more to him than just that. Hit someone with a Discord Strike, get the little exclamation mark on an opponent. Alarak actually gets 40% attack speed and has his basic attacks heal for the next 4 seconds for half of damage dealt. And he's a big auto attacker. 163 on the auto attack. You compare that to Hanzo with 215. Hanzo's attack speed not as fast either. He's channeling the true meaning of melee assassin. A lot of damage if he can stay up close and be safe.
Fortunately, the telekinesis from Pants won't be enough to dissuade or push back 30k, and they advance, and they are able to take first blood into the Alarak, and resetting any sadism he possibly could have had. Well, none, because he didn't get any kills, and there's no level 4 show of force by any means. So we sit 3-3 in levels with a singular kill over to the side of 30k with a slight advantage to 30k, as I'm just peeking at the top lane. Blaze and Leoric, they're just doing a little back and forth, a little bit of respectable 1v1ing into the lane. Leoric's not pushing too hard into Liam, and vice versa, the same. But in bottom lane, it's a different story, with Li Ming throwing in a couple combos and a camp pushing in, getting a little bit of damage onto the fort front gate. But Grubby, we're about to have the announcement of our Immortals, and when that happens, can you break down how Masquerade died to the side of 30k?
Yeah, let's take a look at it again. Of course, it's pre-level 4 Varian as we start this replay. You can see him getting in position for a flank, trying to do some cute stuff. He gets spotted by the Wisp here. Lucio immediately starts slowing him and pushes him back in position. Lucio slows him. Tyrael speeds everyone up. HoTS is getting free shots because of all the slows that are possible. Even from someone like Tyrael, who doesn't have a lot of CC, it's easy for Dino to hit the full combo into him. He was very far. He went to the opposite side of the lane. Varian at level 2, I'm really just not sure that you generally should do that. He doesn't bring a lot early.
I wonder if he felt safe, like Masquerade was like, oh, I have E, I have charge, and we did see him use it onto the minion wave, but I think that it just, the telekinesis didn't work out, and it's an unfortunate fall for Masquerade, but it's not going to be GG's called off of that. We are going to be seeing a Fallen Shaman camp into top, a Fallen Shaman camp into bottom from the respective teams, and the Immortal phase sitting in the north-south position in our standard start for Battlefield of Eternity, with Dino starting to apply a little bit of pressure with those magic missiles. The Arcane Orbs did go into that Aether Walker at level 1 for the cast amplified damage on those magic missiles. So long as you don't take any sort of damage, you can teleport. There's a few conditional things, but still, a good talent for race potential. The expectation later on is going to be a huge step propulsion from Liam, and Pants is going to take a ton of damage. He will go down once again. No sadism to reset, but still a dead Alarak, Grubby.
You see that though, right? Like, they attack him, he almost dies instantly, he gets yoinked, he does a full combo, and like no one even drops below 80%. I don't think Alarak is a real hero, to be honest. I don't think he brings anything. You might as well play Illidan almost. And again, in Storm League, I've seen it often work.
Oh yeah.
You stand posture in front of each other, he combos someone, it's a 5-on-1 against Alarak's target. But if you just jump on him here, oh, big shot on Legacy. Legacy, can he get the healing radiance back on time? Yeah, but that was some sweet shots coming in from Dino and 30k. The defense now by 30k is starting 3 versus 4. They look real comfortable, just zoning out Simplicity. And man, did any of us expect it to be this one-sided today, Bahamut?
Not at all. I really didn't, to be honest. If I'm being blunt and I am giving the information as I'm supposed to as a caster, you look at the stats and everything, you expect this to be the most titanic matchup of the entire season. I think that's, I mean, and maybe I might be speaking for Justin here, but he was saying that he was having trouble sleeping in preparation for today's broadcast because he was so excited. So, maybe we're selling Simplicity short. Maybe they'll start to rally. Maybe Alarak comes online at level 10 with his Counter-Strike, or maybe he goes into Deadly Charge. We'll have to see what happens at level 10, because right now at level 7, Li Ming steps a little too far forward, or maybe she got pulled in by the telekinesis, and she's going to go down.
She got pulled in.
Yeah.
He just got his first victim, and I think he kind of counter-cursed him, saying how he needs his level 10s. And, I mean, that's classic, isn't it? Now, we have Blaze actually taking damage from the keep. He's getting so much armor debuff. I'm shocked that he doesn't die. Simplicity, Pants pull him to the south. Oh, nice push in there by Yasu, pushing someone into the Immortal Stun. It even seems like he's maybe going to stay alive as well. No, Yasu. No, you don't go in. No. Oh!
It's not going to be enough. Hazuabs, he doesn't have a Thornwood Vine, but Masquerade doubles back, and he should die to damage over time. I honestly, I want to go back and watch that because there's so many things that happen. I'm just still like, what happened at the start of the fight again? Because I'm still like reeling from the end of the fight. That was a really, really cool back and forth from both teams.
I'll recap you. Liam was standing
Please.
inside the fort. Inside the fort damage, he was getting damage from the fort, getting the armor debuff. Yasu Alarak's Pants pulled him to the south instead of southeast. So Liam narrowly got away. We're actually going to be able to watch that again. I feel like Blaze might have died if it was a southeast trajectory on that telekinesis. So you can see that here. Okay, yeah, Blaze. Okay, Blaze now, because of the Pyromania, yeah? He starts taking keep damage. It retargets to him. They almost take him down, not quite. Then you've got everyone chasing Legacy. Real cool move coming in here from Alarak. There we go. He gets the double combo. Yasu should be dead and leaving, right? But he sees Bad Benny's in trouble. He goes in again. Does a push to save him? More crazy stuff happened, but we're back to another fight. Before the replay, Leo died. He died again after.
Unfortunate, as we have another combo in from Li Ming. A wave of force here and there, but the taunt from Varian will be the counter kill. Yasu trying to do his little steer around Unaverted, who is going to round the corner and see Bad Benny and have to immediately back away. A Li Ming for a Leoric and Alarak, but the nice thing is that Alarak had his sadism once again reset, and it is going to be a deadly charge Alarak. Typically, this is the 20 talent that you see picked up. And they go into like Counter-Strike. So at 20, the Alarak deadly charges in, they combo, they hit their Counter-Strike, and they burst someone down, or they get the big YouTube play that we all see. This is going to be an earlier play for that, and we'll see how Pants can utilize the deadly charge. I'm going to hold my thought here, because actually... Okay, there was a little dive into Bad Benny. I struggle with this. I constantly cancel the deadly charge every single time I use it, whenever I get Alarak and ARAMs.
I always press it multiple times or something.
I press the buttons in the wrong order, so I cancel the charge. Like I start the charge, then cancel, but that's a light bomb. Oh, it's not gonna connect. There's so much damage onto Li Ming. The Hanzo arrow is gonna be able to explode into the entire side of 30k, but here comes a bunker to slow everything down. Hazuab's on the wrong side of the bunker. He gets out on the correct side this time, but Li Ming was absolutely annihilated right there. Holy crap.
Yeah, despite the light bomb deadly charge combo, which is actually a super cool one, very easy to get the timing right because of the telegraphing of the deadly charge, not hitting anything. Pants did hit his follow-up combo on Dino, and he got the kill there. Here's another kill coming in. No! The Sanctification on the 11th hour! Bad Benny and friends survive. The poison damage is actually still hurting Unaverted. Masquerade goes down on Varian, even as Mene comes in, trying to save the day there. The Masquerade takes that damage already. 30k comes out on top again. It's a full Roger Wilco situation. 10-4, 30k winning with a level lead here right now, and gonna get about 40% shield or so on that Immortal. Coming out on ahead on nearly every major engagement. But let's put a little asterisk there, Bahamut. Can Simplicity get their next deadly charge light bomb combo actually working?
Oh, without 13 talents here, I expect Simplicity to play a little more, I wouldn't say timid, but safer in the objective phase, as actually there's the deadly charge being charged up, so no. Maybe they're going to go for it immediately. Blaze actually going to try and body block Mene, but Mene's able to get the Wraith Walk out. There's so many little cool things that I want to talk about. Like Bad Benny, there's like 2 or 3 things that I want to talk about with Bad Benny in this game, but deadly charge, light bomb. Gonna connect onto 2. There's the combo in from Alarak, huge arrow from Hanzo, Entomb from the Leoric, but it's actually the side of Simplicity who are getting shredded in this engagement. That's gonna be a reset for Li Ming after they get the kill onto the Ando and a follow-up kill onto this Leoric and the Hanzo. It's a 1-2-3 triple kill to the members of 30k, and they actually look for a 4th, and they find it. Alarak, goodbye to any sort of sadism you might have had.
Jeez, that mobility, that chase potential, the way that it was enacted, Dino's bloodthirst there, Yazoo enabling him. Oh, what a fantastic set of chase skills there. I would even say Varian unkillable, but normally, but not today. Okay, he does get saved there
Father.
by his son. Very, very nice. And Masquerade survives. Yeah, 30k absolutely has that damage reach, even behind the keep on a full HP Varian with protected. It's crazy. They're just absolutely popping off today, setting a strong statement before the holidays that they are the team to beat in the playoffs after.
Yasu unsure of whether or not to hearth out or what, but here comes Leoric. He's got Entomb. Li Ming does blink, and that is on cooldown. There's a Sanctification to buy some time. There's going to be a combo onto Mene, and he is going to be the one to go down. Mene looking for the kill is going to be the one who's punished here. What I have to say about Bad Benny is that the Sanctifications have been perfectly placed. That's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Anytime an Entomb comes out, Bad Benny is next to that Entomb. He's not in it, he's right next to it. There's a Light Bomb coming in. There's no Sanctification this time, as we do have a huge arrow from Hanzo. The combo almost getting the kill onto Yasu, but Yasu gets the push off, and it's Pants to fall again. This is just every single attempt to take down 30k is met with counter kills, and it's again technically a quad kill, technically a pentakill for the side of 30k, as the keeps are down, waves are coming in, and 30k advance through top lane.
Oh, this is so sick. Like, Yazoo keeps getting away. They can't keep getting away with this. Like, he got perfectly all in by Light Bomb, Deadly Charge, Hanzo, Arrow. Everyone focuses him. It's a bit the level lead. It's a bit the momentum. It's a bit the psychology. It's a bit everything that happened so far. But it's a lot of Yazoo surviving, getting the turnaround kills, and 30k just absolutely bulldozering Simplicity here. Oh, fantastic season by 30k, and what a great end to the season of regulation.
I'm sure Michael Udall and the rest of 30k are going to be cheering on, as that is a 3-0. 30k made Simplicity look like, to bluntly put it, a bottom league team. Like Simplicity didn't look like Simplicity today, and maybe they don't care about if they're first or second. I have to say, 30k came out and they just clapped. They clapped hard in this game. And seriously, my MVP, it's Bad Benny. There were so many other little things and nuance that he had in that game, with quite literally playing around low health pools where it's like, tee-hee, I'm a low tier, I'm going to die, I'm just going to try and get trait value. It's like, no, Sanctification coming through. We turn the fight. We take every fight. 19-4 in kills justing. 30k. Dominant isn't even the right term. Like, tyrannical force?
It was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game just showcased 30k exerting dominance on the battlefield. That was kind of ridiculous. It felt like every time the side of Simplicity tried to do anything, it was immediately shut down by 30k. And they did draft good counter engage tools. Dino died a couple times to getting just picked off immediately by the Varian and the Alarak, but outside of that, pretty much every time that happened as well, they were always trading kills on the side of 30k. This was really sick. Yasu and Bad Benny being able to peel for each other here and turn this into an actual winning fight was just kind of ridiculous. You could see Unaverted getting like so desperate just to get any kills here against the low HP members, and turning this is just insane. 30k just looks honestly incredible. They look so good. They use bunker better than any team I've seen by a huge amount here in this game. We had a lot of times where you'd see like 3 or 4 members get into the bunker to save themselves, but not only save themselves, also take advantage of how much damage the bunker does. Look at how much damage is done just from having everyone in the bunker using it properly. That's not an easy thing to do, to get your whole team on the same page, being able to use the bunker just as a team. A lot of the time we see just Blaze getting in and to kind of save himself, and maybe one member gets in and shoots a little fire, then gets out, or just hides in it. But 30k using it to its full effect, and something that they did that was really smart is every time there was any chance for a fight to happen, 30k always had either bunker or Sanct available. They weren't looking for fights when they didn't have either of them, and they were staggering them, so they always had one of those tools up to counter engage. So even when they would never layer them, they never overlapped them. So as soon as they use Sanct top now, they still have bunker here. So Liam gets in range, and he's going to have bunker too to save the team in this situation as well if they need. So it's just the safety net was just always there for 30k, and they always had those tools to turn fights. They never used both at the same time. They were never wrong with their coordination on that. And Simplicity coming in with what seemed like a cool combo. They had the Deadly Charge with the Light Bomb. That was definitely something that they had planned. That's why they took him to BOE. And 30k just had the tools to deal with it and completely dismantled Simplicity in this game.
One of the best 30k matchups I think we've seen all season, and into arguably the other best team in the season as well. So just really, really, really good play from the side of 30k. And actually, I'm looking at the stats right now. Dino had top tier damage, and we actually have Dino on the line to ask him about his damage, his play. Dino, can you hear me? How you feeling after that matchup?
Yes, I can hear you, and pretty good, pretty confident.
Awesome. Well, you guys had a very, very strong game into Simplicity, and the first thing I have to ask you is how much preparation went into the Simplicity matchup?
So we played warm-ups today, like we usually do before CCL match, and we tried out something funny because, you know, Simplicity on one hand is a good team, on the other hand the standings are kinda weird. So we might as well try something really cool. And played it today, and yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, it was good stuff. It was really, really fun. I'm assuming you're talking about that Vikings map number 1.
Yes.
Oh, that was a very good time. But I don't want to take all the questions here. Justin, any questions for Dino?
Yeah, what is your team's kind of philosophy on Eltric Pass as a map? Because it seems like you guys play it a lot differently than other teams. You seem to put a lot more priority on the boss and less on the objective, and just more on team fighting than other teams.
I think it's less about the map and more we look at their comp and what they can do. Like, they had a very weird draft where they had no engage. It was only like the Hakatang or the Deckard ult, if that like, and those are very unreliable ways to force the fight. So yeah, we just look to split all the time, try to create pressure on each lane, and we knew we can't really get caught if we don't overextend ever. And out of that, you naturally get bosses or the objective, or you push or whatever.
Not true. I gotta say, your positioning was phenomenal throughout that game, and it definitely does show, as you guys did take a very, very strong Alterac pass map. But Grubby, any questions for Dino as well?
Yeah, today's games were a lot of fun. Thank you for that. Probably will be even more hard fought in the playoffs, where every match 100% determines additional placement advancement. You're now in first place, and you're going to be facing the winner from the gauntlet. So a lot of games of waiting and watching whenever that's happening, and you'll meet the champion of it. Does that put any extra pressure on you that you're potentially facing a team that just won their last 1, 2, 3, or even 4 matches in a row, a warmed up team, and you're just sitting there not getting actual competitive warming up?
On one hand, obviously that is a concern, but on the other hand, we get to see those teams play. We get to see what they might have for secret stats or whatever, and we can prepare for them while they can't prepare for us. And yeah, on top of that, I think as of now at least, if every team would play at their strongest, we would win. I think we just look the most solid right now. So out of that, I also feel confident that it doesn't really matter who comes through the gauntlet. Good luck.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely sitting at the top of our standings, Dino. And thank you for the interview. Before I let you run out of here, are there any shouts that you'd like to give?
Yeah, to my team. They're doing well. A lot of it's very fun playing with them. They're also very communicative and just fun. Also to the 30k staff, to chat, to the CCL production, and especially to Muska. You're not gonna win season 3 this time.
Alrighty, well, a little spice at the end. Well, thank you for joining us, Dino. Good luck in all your scrims in the upcoming holiday break, and we will see you in 2022. Good luck and have fun out there.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks for joining us. Well, I guess the gauntlets have been thrown. I think, Grubby, is the way that you say that. Either way, it's going to be an amazing matchup as we get into those later playoffs and everything like that. But it's really, really cool stuff. And I want to kind of take a second here at the end of this, and I want to get both of your thoughts on that last series. And I want to start with you, Justin. Any sort of like major takeaway that you kind of saw from this entire best of 5 series that we just had?
30k definitely deserves their first place finish that they've got in the regular season. They're looking insanely strong. And if nothing else, I'd say this almost increases the pressure on Wildheart and Diamond Hands and the teams fighting for that third place spot, because you really don't want to have to face 30k first. They look just so dominant that you're really looking to get into the third place and not have to go through the gauntlet to inevitably face 30k. So it's definitely, it puts even more pressure on these next games and puts even more impact on them, just seeing how strong 30k is right now.
We will be able to look at some of that playoff and gauntlet bracket at the end of the broadcast today because we still have another best of 5. But Grubby, please, any takeaways from this first best of 5 of the day?
Yeah, that's a really dominant performance by 30k. I agree that they look the best right now. It's also cool because this is the best 30k has looked in 3 seasons so far. Various moments of looking promising, but always ending up with a rather middling score. If I'm not mistaken, not even always top 4. Now they're looking like the dead favorite, which is a great thing to see. The other teams have some weeks to work with. No doubt some holiday time will be enjoyed for some of them. And then also scrims whenever they can to get ready for the playoffs as well. I'm really excited about the best of 5 that's coming up after the break because there's a lot of ways this can go. Just to kind of recap it, we got Diamond Hands against Wildheart. If Diamond Hands wins 3-0, they're rank 3. It would be very fitting for this comeback team, for this reverse sweep team, to come from 6th place straight into 3rd place. So if Diamond Hands wins against Chili Mountain, I should say, they are top 3 over Wildheart. If Diamond Hands loses, then Wildheart is locked in as rank 3 team. But if Diamond Hand wins by any score at all, they will still be top 4 at least, rank 4.
Okay.
They'll still be at the top of the gauntlet, whether it's 3-2 or 3-1.
Sure.
If Diamond Hand loses, they can actually stay where they are. They will stay where they are, rank 6. So they can be 6, they can be 4, they can be 3.
A lot of
different score possibilities.
Oh yeah, a lot of shifting parts, and that's why we were all kind of at the start of the broadcast really excited about these 2 matchups. This first matchup we just had determined 1st and 2nd solidified. This one moves the members of moves the members of Diamond Hands and Wildheart around in the standings, and we'll be able to look at that a little bit later today and see how everything solidifies after this best of 5. It's going to be a really, really exciting matchup, but as always, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to bring our amazing friend Kyle Ferguson back on, and I expect all of you to be spamming !Kyle in chat because he has an interview with Diamond Hands Nintori to talk about this upcoming matchup versus Chili Mountain. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom.